It's America's 250th anniversary, and we're celebrating the only way we know how, with bigger savings than ever before at Capital Ford in Santa Fe. Like a new 2025 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend with 0% APR plus $1,000 down payment assistance. Or a new 2026 Ford Explorer Active with 3.9% APR plus $1,000 down payment assistance during America's 250th anniversary at Capital Ford in Santa Fe. It's America's 250th anniversary, and we're celebrating the only way we know how, with bigger savings than ever before at Capital Ford in Santa Fe. Like a new 2025 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend with 0% APR plus $1,000 down payment assistance. Or a new 2026 Ford Explorer Active with 3.9% APR plus $1,000 down payment assistance during America's 250th anniversary at Capital Ford in Santa Fe.
And we are back, Ed, back from Las Vegas, back from Mountain West Football Media Days, back to doing live streams, man. Feels like it's been a while since we jumped back on the live. It's been a busy last 2 weeks. We're heading into football, but the TBT starts tomorrow, The Enchantment, kick it off against Wichita, the Wichita program. I know that we got Kenny Thomas potentially coming on a little bit later. I know that he was driving over there earlier this evening, so pending by the time he gets there and gets settled in, we might have him joining us a little bit later. But Ed, how was your weekend, man? Did you recover from Vegas?
You know, you released some of those videos that we recorded out there, and I went back and watched them. And I think that one of the things, and this is no offense to anybody out there, there's a lot of media people, big Mountain West or the Mountain West. There's the people from Las Vegas across from us. There was a lot of media people out there. Jared Chester was out there. And I got to say that, Eric, I told you that pit press backdrop, man, that I think that takes things to another level. And you have to have the content and the questions. And we were ready. I thought, Wednesday with the players was a whirlwind. Gosh, man, we interviewed over 30 people in 2 days. And there was a busy time. We didn't have hardly a time to really sit down and think about it, because UTEP, North Dakota State, New Mexico, Las Vegas, UNLV, they all came over, man, and we really enjoyed our time talking to every one of them, because we mentioned it's everybody's 0-0 now, and so the optimism. And I thought Jeff Symbieta made a good point when he came on with us on Thursday. Okay, Kenny's going to get on in about 2 minutes. Okay, so he just texted me. So I thought that Jeff made, you know what, Eric, Jeff made a good point, in that this year's conference, the people that wanted to be there. The North Dakota State, UTEP, Northern Illinois are new teams, and last year you had teams with their foot out the door. So you and I thought, I don't know what you thought, Eric. I'm sorry I'm going on and on, but I just looked back on it. It was a whirlwind. I thought the pit press, I was proud of our coverage, Eric. I really was, man. You did a great job by setting that thing up. You had the questions. Man, you worked hard, Eric. You did, man. You did. You really did.
I think we finally had time to prepare this time around, but yeah, we knocked out easily 35 to maybe 40's a bit of a stretch, but individual interviews with the players, all the head coaches. And I agree with you, man. I felt like it was a completely different vibe from last Mountain West Football Media Days last year. All the programs were excited. They were excited to be there. The atmosphere was good. People were encouraged by the media. Everyone wanted to talk to us. Everyone wanted to talk to every media outlet there. And that was, I mean, Gloria Navarez was one of the first interviews that we conducted. We didn't even have to bother to reach out to have her to come to our booth and talk to us. The Mountain West is proud. They want to get these teams promoted, and we can talk a little bit more after we sit down with Kenny Thomas. But I feel like each individual program that we spoke to, there was a ton of optimism, and you're always going to get optimism with any program over the middle of the summer, kind of before leading up to the season. But everyone was excited to be there. Everyone was really high on their team. And I mean, maybe it's a personal opinion of mine, but I left a lot of those interviews almost a little bit of a fan of some of these other programs, just talking with the student athletes. There were some impressive people there, impressive student athletes. I don't know if anyone was more impressive than some of the quarterbacks. I think just kind of some of the leadership characteristics that those guys hold. It was fun talking with all the Lobos that were there, but I was also very impressed by the 19-year-old quarterback that UTEP's going to be rolling out in EJ Colson. So I don't know. Did any interviews specifically kind of stick out to you that you were like, damn, like this guy is sharp. These guys are coming in guns blazing. They're not going to back down from anybody. I think kind of North Dakota State was another fun interview, but any specific interviews stick out to you?
EJ Colson was one of them. Cam Thomas, the minor back for UTEP. I love talking to him because he has to line up as DX, it's line up in the backfield. He has to know a lot of assignments. And just the way, he talked about it. He talked about how he approaches his assignments, and they're all different. EJ Colson, a 19-year-old quarterback for UTEP, and the leader in the locker room, unquestioned leader, and that he knows everybody's name. And if things aren't going right, he'll tell everybody, let's run it again. And then when I asked him, okay, your leadership qualities are obvious. Where did you get them? He mentioned he got them from his dad, and I was touched by that because, as you know, my son and I are very, very close. And, I'm glad it came from his dad. And I hope Nick says that about me someday. Nick and I are joined at the hip, man. And his very close mother is mom is different. Mom is mom. But I think those two, and then the North Dakota State offensive lineman, I can't remember his name, Humphrey, just the way they talked about, we're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. We expect to win. We're not coming in here. They won 10 FCS. There's Kenny. I don't know if you want to introduce our guest.
No, finish that thought. We'll bring on Kenny. I know you got like a few seconds.
There's just, what, Eric? Scotty Walden, the UTEP coach. I love that dude, man. That dude is me and him hit it off. The guy's got the suit. He's got the miter tie and then the shoes. We'll get into it more, but I love that guy. And you know what, Eric? I think you and I, when we interviewed these coaches, we want them to win, just not against the Lobos. That's what I came away with. I definitely want them to win, but I want the Lobos to beat them.
Yeah, you made sure to let Scotty know that too when we left that conversation. But
I love that guy.
Without further ado, let's get to the man of the hour. Joining us all the way from Wichita, Lobo legend, Lobo men's basketball, Kenny Thomas, the host of Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas on the Sports Animal and got his own podcast. KT, what's up, man? You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm all out of sorts, man. What's going on, Eric? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How was the trip in? I'm surprised you drove it instead of fly.
I don't mind it, but before we get into that, I gotta acknowledge my guy Ed. What's going on, bro? How are you?
KT, brother, what's up, man? You know what? I can't thank you enough for Kenny. You and I have been doing Unfiltered since October, man. That's a long time. And we've developed a very good friendship. But I want to tell you this, and I tell you this all the time. We can't thank you enough. Every time I'm on with you, you promote the Pit Press. You promote what we're doing. And I'll tell you one thing, man. You and I have a very good chemistry when we're on together. You always let me finish my thought, even if we go to commercial and I'm about to say something, you'll come back and you say, Ed, what did you have to say? I just love being on with you, man. We have a lot of fun. And then when Clayton's on, you let me be on for bro time, man. And even though I didn't play with y'all, man, we have a lot of fun doing that. So I just can't thank you enough for what you've done in promoting the Pit Press, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's always an honor. I say it all the time. You're a book of knowledge, and you help the show, and you bring a totally different element. And I just love the different dynamics that I have outside of just me, right? Like, I try not to make the show about me. I try and make it about everybody that's associated with the show, from my producers to you to Eric Strauss to if it's Emily Faith that used to work at KO before, or if it's Clayton Shields. I really enjoy our time. I look forward to our conversations because you never know which direction they're gonna go. But thank you for being associated and a part of Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas as well. Eric, just to answer your question, man. Yeah, I was raised driving in a car. For a long time, my dad used to drive, and it was only 8.5 hours, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's sometimes B Mace is able to get us flights is one of those times to where it wasn't the situation, and the nice thing about it is that it wasn't that far. It wasn't like going to California to where it's like 16 to 18 hours. So
I don't know. Well, you made it, man, and you guys are less than 24 hours from tip off against the remind me of their name, the Wichita Aftershocks.
I just
What
know
it
that
is,
it's
man.
Aftershock, yeah.
So, Ed, I'm going to hand it over to you, man. I know you prepared for this one.
You know, Kenny, you and I have been talking about the roster. You sent me a final roster,
Yeah.
and there's some additions that I saw. But Donovan Dent, I think you were counting on him to be your playmaker. He petitioned for another year of eligibility from the NCAA, and we'll see how that goes. But I think taking him out of the lineup, those things happen, man. I can't blame him for trying to get paid another year. But who can we look to on the Enchantment roster for some playmaking?
Well, I'm happy that Donovan is going to get an opportunity for his 5th year. Um, I don't know if I had this discussion with you on Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas, but I was like, how do you retire from college? These kids are retiring from college. I'm like, don't you just like go away into the sunset when you're done with college or something like that? But
Kenny froze for a second there, Eric. I don't know if I'm sure he'll come back on.
Yeah, maybe I'll pose this question to you, the same thing that you asked Kenny, but yeah, Donovan Dent decided to unretire after being retired for maybe a month. And we talked about it a little bit in Las Vegas with Jeff Symbieta. You don't blame him for trying to come back, right? And we talked about several schools that would be interested. I think two of the schools that kind of popped up were Gonzaga and Texas Tech, with NIL and rev share and money being out there still available. If you're granted an extra year, it would be really hard for Donovan Dent to say no to. So I don't think either of you and I disagreed with him coming back. I know that there was a lot of Lobo talk around New Mexico and Albuquerque of him possibly returning to play for the Lobos, and Eric Olin kind of being. It was the Twitter chat, right? It was rumors central where Eric Olin didn't want Donovan Dent to play here. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, right? You have to give him a look, but he's got a roster and he's got his guys, and there's a loyalty there. So, I mean, would they be willing to have a conversation with him to bring him on? I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Ed. I know that you talked to Symbieta and we didn't have that much to kind of really get too much into it, but did you have any additional thoughts that maybe you didn't share with Jeff?
Well, we did talk about that, and I think for Eric Olin, there was a lot of chatter around Twitter about that. What do you do? He's got his roster set. He told Uriah Tenet, here's the keys to the system, man. You're going to be my quarterback. And then all of a sudden something happens that you didn't plan for. And there's Kenny again. Kenny, you back?
I was just sitting there rambling. I was wondering why you guys weren't moving. I was like, these guys are too frozen. Like they can't be that still.
Yeah, no. So Kenny, I think you were talking about now, Kenny, when you were gone, when I hosted one afternoon on Unfiltered, I had George Scott and Phil Smith, two former Lobos on, and we talked about Donovan Dent retiring at an early age. And, both Phil and George were very surprised that, he was going to do that. And I think you and I may have talked about it, but he's, you go finish your thought on that, Kenny. You were talked about, surprised that he was going to retire. And, yeah.
I should try and connect to the Wi-Fi. I should try and connect to the Wi-Fi, you guys. I shouldn't have to. I'm sorry. Are you guys there?
Go ahead. Go do your thing. We'll bring you back on when you're ready.
It's probably better to connect to the Wi-Fi, right, Eric?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead and do that, and we'll bring you on when you're ready.
Okay, so Kenny's going to reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and while he does that, Eric, I think one of the things you mentioned about Donovan Dent is a lot of now some of the things that we read too. I read things that somebody wrote on the line the other day. Why Donovan Dent's better than the whole team? Why wouldn't Eric Olin want him? There's got to be a lot of things that go into this too, because what's the NIL money look like? He probably spent a lot of money on Jake Hall and bringing other players in. So what does the NIL money look like? What would Donovan Dent play for? He does have his girlfriend here. I think he wants to stay close to home. He's not as far as the system goes, he's a high pick and roll guy, but somebody wrote this too. You adapt the system to fit around, Donovan. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Donovan Dent, somebody wrote an article, I think it was Will Weber, or maybe it was Jeff Grammer, that Donovan Dent has had conversations with UNM, with Coach Olin. And I don't know what those have yielded. They said that Gonzaga needs a point guard. Could they pay him a lot more? They probably could. So I don't know where that's going to go as far as Dent coming back to UNM. I know Lobo fans would be happy to see that, but it's one of those cogs, not cogs, but does the piece fit? And with a guy like Dent, who's one of the greatest Lobo point guards ever, in the company of Darius Gary, Kelvin Scarborough, Phil Smith, Petey Gibson, Greg Brown, Daryl McGee. He's in that company there. There's no doubt about it. So if you're Eric Olin, I think Jeff said it's about a 15% because he doesn't want to leave, but you can make more money at Gonzaga. You can make a lot more money at Gonzaga. They have a spot open for you. So if you're Donovan Dent, you want to stay home, but you could make more money elsewhere. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, if you look at Gonzaga, and that wasn't, I don't think really necessarily a rumor. I feel like there's a good chance that might happen just due to Mark Few being there, the relationship there. But Gonzaga is getting a full share of the conference distribution and rev share. They don't have to pay for a football program. So if they have to come up with money, they got it. And that Donovan's going to probably require $3 to $4 million for 1 year, just like he got at UCLA. Maybe he's a little bit more in high demand now. So that's very real. And that's kind of where the market is set for a point guard, especially a seasoned point guard, one that's durable with his abilities. Would I love to see him in a Lobo uniform again? Yeah, absolutely. I just don't think the budget is there. And then again, when you consider the conversation that he had with Olin, I think that conversation didn't need to be had. It would be silly not to. He's here in Albuquerque. But at the same time, what are the commitments to Jake Hall? What are the commitments to Uriah Tenet? The loyalty, the trust. Those are Eric Olin's guys. Those are guys that Eric Olin has recruited since high school. He's got relationships with not only with the player or the student athletes, but also with the families. He's got commitments to those guys that, hey, who knows if he had that conversation kind of heading into this year, maybe to retain or like a player like Uriah Tenet, if there's, I wouldn't say maybe guaranteeing him a starting spot on the squad, but he's giving him first run at it. He wants him to be the starting point guard. So I think there's a lot of that plays into it too. I know that that's kind of what Jeffson Bieta said, but we got Kenny back now, so let's see if we can get his
Kenny,
thoughts.
You were talking about Donovan Dent and about the fact about him coming back and trying to get that extra year. And go ahead and finish that thought, Kenny.
Oh, obviously, the young man decided to like have a come to whatever. Like, hey, I get a chance to go back to college. Like, I don't know what I'm doing retiring. The fact that he applied for his eligibility and he got it for his 5th year, I'm happy for him. Wherever he goes, I was listening to you guys, he's gonna demand at least a couple million. I agree with Eric. The UNM budget, obviously, what we always talk about, it's not enough. I think it was front loaded with Jake and Uriah Tenet. Then the other guys were able to get in where they fit in. But I mean, obviously the rumors are out there with Gonzaga and everything. But I don't know, man. It's just this college scene and how things are unfolding. It's just totally different. It's a different environment. But I'm just beyond ecstatic, and I can't say this enough. How happy I am that this young man had to come to Jesus or whatever you want to do, or like he bumped his head and something happened. I'm just happy that Donovan is like taking advantage of an opportunity to where he's able to play the sport that he loves and be able to get compensated for it.
Kenny, I think you're right about that. And Kenny, 11-year career in the NBA, man. You just showed me you texted me something the other day. You were
Oh,
1.8 in the NBA at 10.1 rebounds per game. And once in a while, you and I will talk about playing against Karl Malone, against Shaq. And you got to go in there in the NBA. And when you're in there in that paint, there, man, it's warfare, bro. To get those boards, you got them here, you got them in the pros. So you know what it's like. You earned a good paycheck where you were in the NBA, and I think that's why we're all baffled. Why Donovan? Why would you leave money on the table? It made no sense to me. Any Lobo that I've ever seen here wanted to, if they could, advance to the pros, even play overseas, do whatever they could to keep that money stream going. So, Kenny, you're right. Maybe he bumped his head or had to come to Jesus or someone. And I don't mean that literally. You know what I mean? Someone said, hey, look, you're leaving a lot of money on the table here. So let's see what that 5th year brings. Lobo fans are in a lather. They want him back here. I get it. I understand that. We'll just have to see how all those things.
It's not going to happen.
I wouldn't think so either. And not because Eric Olin doesn't want him. There's just so many other things. He can make more money elsewhere. It'd be great to see him in a Lobo uniform. But, again, I think one of the things that we talked about, Kenny, is that Coach Olin is very loyal to his players. So if you bring in Donovan Dent, you got to tell Uriah Tenet, hey, man, I'm sorry, but sit down. You got to sit down, man. And that's what he has to say. You say, call whatever you want. Someone's got to sit down if Donnie comes. Now, I know Lobo fans will be like, hey, that's okay. He's this and that. I understand that. But I just think for logistics and money and things like that, I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
It's not going to. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Kenny, bro.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah, they may not.
I love Donnie. And I'm a Donovan Dent fan. Like I give the kid praises that the young man. Excuse me, he's the young man. Meant no disrespect there, but no, this is the time for Uriah Tenet, right? Like this is I agree with Chris. Like Coach Olin has totally committed to these guys, and how do you not? Like Uriah Tenet had to take a step back to Aubrey, right? No disrespect to Aubrey, but when it comes to overall player, and I'm not just saying that because Uriah Tenet played, I think that he's better when it comes from a shooting perspective, right? And just different awareness of how the perception of the game and how the game is flowing. But I just feel like the Lobos right now are in the right position to make some noise. And I get it. Everybody's talking about the conference, the Mountain West Conference isn't what it used to be, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Everybody's talking about it's a one-bid league or a conference, excuse me. I don't really care. They just got to handle their business and do things on their side, and we'll see what happens. But Donovan Dent coming to New Mexico, like I would be beyond shocked if that happens, but I would be ecstatic if it did. But I wouldn't see it happening based off of Uriah Tenet. And you guys got to think about it. You got Dax there too, Paul,
Yeah.
who's supposed to be backing up Uriah Tenet. Like, come on. I don't know. Like there comes a time to where there's resentment that's there, right? And you don't want to, I don't know, do it on the college level. It's already being done in the professional level to a certain extent.
Yeah. I think you're right. I'd be surprised if it happened. I know Lobo fans are, like we said, in a lather. I don't think so. I don't see it happening. But on your roster, you've got CJ Nolan, Jamal Jones from New Mexico State, and
I like him.
yeah. Who do you
Jamil
think?
Jones.
Who do you see as some of your playmakers that's going to get you?
Well, you got Troy. You got Troy there. I really like all the guys we got. To be honest, we just got two bigs too. Like two bigs, not Vance Jackson. He's kind of like a 3-4. Kenny play the 5, but he's more of like a 4. But B Mace just got two bigs, which is going to be huge because those are the two pieces that we were lacking. So I'll be able to see them tomorrow for the first game and everything. But Troy, I've been with Troy for, I think this is our 3rd year. Johnny McCants, watch. I feel like he's going to surprise some people. He's athletic. He's long. And he can actually shoot. And we just added Orlando Lovejoy. So he's a guard. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this unfolds. But yeah, man. We'll probably have 7, 8 guys and see what happens.
Eric, you wanna go ahead and ask?
Just running down the roster that we have on the screen, Kenny. I'm not sure if you can see it on your phone, but I mean that we're familiar with most of these guys. It's been a while since we've seen some of them play, like Vegas fans. But I mean, what have those guys been up to now? I know that you've had some time to spend with them.
Well, a lot of these guys are playing overseas. Like Vance Jackson, he played in the Big 3 today. So he's coming in. We got Johnny McCants, he's playing overseas. He has some hand issues. You got Troy that's playing overseas right now. CJ Nolan is playing. Jamil Jones. Some of these are like Jamil Jones. Some of these guys are trying to get jobs too, right? Like 2 years ago, I think that's when Johnny McCants got an opportunity to be able to get a job to be able to play overseas. So there's gonna be scouts there. It's national TV. It's Fox Sports 1. So we'll see what happens once the ball goes up. The thing about it is what I really, really like is that it's the best of 3 series. So we play Monday, we play Thursday, and then if need be, the 3rd game is on Friday. So we'll see.
Ed.
Kenny, you open up with the defending champions, the Aftershock, a team made up of former Wichita State players, the defending TV champions from last season, led by Marquise McDuffie. You play them in Wichita, Kansas, right off the bat. What kind of challenge do they present to Team Enchantment? They're a good team, man. They're the defending champions, and Team Enchantment has to go against them right away.
Yeah, you got to also keep in mind, Ed, like in order to win this thing, like I'm not going to compare it to the NBA title, but everything has to go kind of right for you, right? To where you have to knock down shots. You have to be able to play a little bit of defense. We made it to the Sweet 16. We were in hostile territory a couple of years ago. I think it was 23 or 24. To where we were in Texas. We had to play 3 Texas teams, and we almost beat the 3rd one. That ended up going to the finals, I think. So, if not winning it. But hey, it's gonna come down to these guys being in shape, and if they're ready to play, go out there and get a little dog in them and make shots and see what happens. It's gonna be a game. It's gonna be a game of like making shots and who's gonna play the greatest defense to a certain extent, because it's a physical game. These referees do not call fouls. So yeah.
When you look at a guy, like I was a big fan of Scott Bamforth when he played for the Enchantment the last couple of seasons. That guy was a walking bucket, man. But he was the guy that like offense breaks down, shot clock coming down. Like, get the ball to this guy because he's going to create. He could shoot from the outside. Yeah. But he was also super smart and made kind of everyone else around him better. I mean, who might carry that torch this year for this squad? Like, who on the floor is going to be able to create for the other guys?
I think Troy would be able to create. I think KJ Jenkins would be able to create a little bit. Jamal Jones. I think we got a variety of guys that might be able to create, honestly. It's not going to come down to like one or two guys just creating an identity of being the guy that's going to go out and get buckets. With me, the offense is kind of gonna flow, right? From the Princeton perspective. If the ball's moving, guys are making cuts and looking for guys rather than pounding the ball first. We'll see what happens. A couple of these guys have actually played in the system with me, so since we started this, see what happens.
Ed.
Kenny, one of the things about the Princeton system, and you mentioned this to me when you played at Sacramento, you played there with Pete Carroll, the great Princeton, did he coach at Princeton? I believe he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's how it all started. Yeah.
Princeton offense. Mm-hmm. So you were impressed also with Amy Egan, the new Lobo women's coach, who wants to run some variations of that. So I think that's an offense and it would have helped if Dan had been here. And you got to go on. You got to still go. I think you got a solid roster. I really do. But one of the players you and I have spoken about is Brandon Mason Jr. It'll be his first venture playing against older, more
He's not playing.
Oh, he's not playing?
Eligibility perspective, there's some colleges or people that advise to him from an eligibility perspective, it might not be okay, even though TBT said it was. I just spoke to him tonight when I got here. He's not going to play.
That's too bad. Eric had shown me some highlights of him. And he's going to be one, he's had a lot of offers at the collegiate level. But you know what? You don't want to mess with any eligibility issues.
Oh, yeah.
That's better. And he would have helped. I was interested to see, and you and I had talked about it, how he's going to go up against stronger, more experienced players. But that's there's two players that you counted on. But so Donovan Dett's not available. You do have some good size, though, in athleticism with 6'9" Corey Manicolt, 6'9" Johnny McCants, 6'9" Vance Jackson, 6'11" Mike Holyfield, and a very high IQ player and 6'7" Luke Hopt. Do you think
Luke Hopt is out too?
Oh, he's not going to go down. Okay, so these are good that we're getting updates from you about this. I thought Hopt would definitely help. But speaking of those other guys, how do you see you using that's good front line sides there with Manigault, McCants?
I like what we got. What we got.
Yeah.
I really, really do. And I'm not just saying that. Scott Bamforth, he was an engine that fueled this thing, right? Me and him started this thing together. But it comes a time to where people have to go a different direction, right? But I think some of the pieces that B Mace has brought in, we'll see what happens, because it seems like they're a little, I would say, selfless, to where they're not going to be selfish from what I've seen. And these guys can actually make shots. But obviously, going out there and playing, it's going to determine when you're playing if you're going to be able to knock down shots. So I don't know, man. You guys got to also keep in mind, like before, it was one, and it was one, you keep winning, and if you lost, you're done, one and done. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that this is the best of three.
Yeah, you know what? That's you're right. You're right. I think you mentioned guys that can knock down shots. You've also got KJ Jenkins and CJ Nolan and Jamel Jones. They're all in. They're still all in, all three of them.
Yeah.
I think those guys can help you spread the floor, KT. I really do.
Yeah. And seeing these guys shoot the last couple of days, okay, right? Like, but they got to be some dogs, though, to a certain extent, because this is the type of tournament to where it's real physical. Obviously, I'm not playing. When I say physical, the referees are not calling anything. You're gonna have to play through it.
Which some guys would don't mind doing, right? And Marcus McKee from Wichita State, man, that guy's the aftershocks it's a tough task for the team enchantment right off the bat, but I think it's something that you're used to facing those kind of challenges. You've been there before, and I think, like you said, you like what you got. Some guys aren't going to be there. You know what hand you're dealt, and I think you'll be ready to take on any
Yeah,
challenge.
it's not Ed. It's not like I'm out there and I'm lacing them up. You know what I mean? And you know what's crazy? On the drive up here, I was like, okay, maybe I take a year and maybe start thinking about playing in this thing next year. Maybe I don't know.
I would love to see that, man.
I don't know.
I would love to
Like
see it.
like like I feel like if I started now, because I already work out. But like if I got in the gym, like in the basketball gym, like a couple times a week, now all the way to next summer, I'm thinking about it, Ed.
Man, you're
At the
and
age of
Cowboy fans
50,
would love to see that. And
at the
yeah,
age of 50,
you're 49 now, right? You're going to turn 49 in a few weeks.
I'll be 49 next week from today, next Saturday.
And you know what? Just so everybody knows, you keep yourself in very good shape. You go to the gym.
Yeah.
You don't eat a lot of sweets. You know, when we're on the show, you've got a lot of low cal stuff, man. You take care of yourself. That would be a challenge that for
I don't know. What if
yeah,
I actually did that?
yeah. We're going to be bringing this
I don't
now.
know.
Now on the show, man, I'm gonna be asking you a lot now. Like, hey, KT, man, what's the status, man? Are you really going to do that? Yeah.
We're gonna need a
If I
weekly update. It's gonna need to be on TikTok. We need to get the inside track
trust me,
on the
I would
workouts,
trust me,
the
I
day
would
in the life
document
of
this.
KT.
Trust me, I would document this on social media. I have my kid. Yeah, I would trust me. I'm gonna document it. Like even if I didn't, I might even just do it anyway, just to do it. But Ed, I gotta find a gym, a consistent gym. That's the only thing. Can't find a court in New Mexico.
Yo,
That's the
you know
only
what? You've got yeah, no, that's true, man. It's in every gym that we try to get. It's incredible prices to pay,
thing.
man. Right?
I
Anyone,
ain't,
you
I
know.
ain't paying for that.
But somebody would give you a gym for that. I guarantee that. Somebody would say, "Hey, come on in here, man. Work out here." You know, Kenny, you've been the head coach of a team, Enchantment. What's the biggest
Yeah.
challenge in this 2 million winner take all format? What's the biggest challenge?
Well, I've said I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record, but this is my 5th year coaching this thing. Last year we took a year off, right? And it comes down to making shots. I hate to say it, just like any other basketball game to a certain extent, it comes down to making shots and it comes down to getting stops in crucial moments when you need a stop when the other team is going on a run. That is the crucial moment. It's like I could be the coach, but at the same time, if they're not gonna go out there and dig in and get a stop and crack back and rebound all 5 guys, then we we might get embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like we're already in a hostile environment, and these are not the guys that I went into that hostile environment with a couple years ago when we made it to the Sweet 16. And I think Troy was there out of everybody, and I think Johnny McCants was there. But outside of that, this is a whole new structure and a whole new squad. But the nice thing about it is they've all been playing, so that's cool.
Okay, it's
What
not
do you
like
what do you
Go ahead, Eric.
yeah, what do you think about I'm not sure how many years it's been going on now, maybe the last 3 seasons, the 4, with the Elam ending. There's no shot clock.
Yeah,
It's basically like a ball.
Yeah. Mhm.
For
Sorry,
people
Eric.
that don't know, do you want to define, like, tell us what that is?
So at the end of the game, at 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, wherever it is, they add like 8 or 9 points to where whoever, let's just say, Ed Nunez, your team has 76, and Eric, your team has 54. You add 8 or 9 more points to the 76, and that is your number that you're trying to get. So whoever gets to that number first, if you're down by 30, cool. You got to get to that number first. If you only need like that 8 or 9 points, then you win.
And that's to prevent someone from basically just
Blowout.
milking the clock,
Basically,
right?
yeah.
Like walking it out. Like you're forcing dudes to make buckets, and you're forcing defenses to get stops. Like it gets super, super physical.
Yeah. And then there's a little strategy around it. Depends on where you're at in around that 4-minute mark. There's multiple ways that you can go about it, right? To where if you're up, you might want to call a timeout right after, right? Obviously, because it starts. If you're down, it might be before, right? It's just multiple ways that it can go. But it's like 8 or 9 points that's added on, regardless at the 4-minute mark.
So you mean that anything under 4 minutes when there's a dead ball and you can force that dead ball by calling a timeout? That's what you mean by being like strategic about it?
Yes. Perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
That way.
I mean, do you agree with it? Do you like it? Or would you rather, I mean, is it just one more thing to navigate?
I think it depends on if you're winning or if you're losing, right? I like it if it's a close game. I don't like the blowout situation, so that kind of helps this with that as well. So
yeah. Ed, sorry, you were about to ask KT a question.
No, it's all right, Eric. I definitely want you to jump in. Kenny, Craig Snow still assistant?
Yes.
Okay, you got Craig, Doris Gary,
yes,
Chris Pettis,
yes,
and Brandon Mason Sr.
Yes, he's here.
Okay, so you've got some excellent assistant coaches there.
Craig Snow's amazing. He was with me when we made it to that Sweet 16 run.
Yeah.
So he's amazing. He knows his shit.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
If you're gonna make a comeback, Kenny, we should just get Brandon Mason Sr. to make a comeback too, and you guys both lead the team next year.
Okay. I think you got a better chance with me.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how old Mace is. I'm not sure.
Oh, he's younger than me. Trust me. I got him by like 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so yeah, Mace is around 45, 46.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, this might be the story of the year, but to Kenny, I think Chris Pettis is also on your staff too, right?
Yes.
I think those are some excellent assistant coaches. We know. I told you when Craig Snow coached Bosque, I was an official, and I remember Craig calling all these plays from the sideline. Him and I got to be friends, and he coached here with Steve Alford at UNM. So he's an excellent assistant coach for you, for sure. And you got some other good ones there too. Tomorrow night, Kenny, 7:00. You'll be on FS1, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Team Enchantment taking on the Wichita Aftershock. I'll be watching because if you're not back Tuesday, you won't be back on Tuesday. I think I'm going to be hosting Unfiltered, so I definitely
call in.
Yeah,
I'll call in.
Definitely want you to call in. But KT, now,
for sure.
Yeah, before we let you go, you've got a number of things going on. Kenny Knows the Score on Channel 4, Unfiltered, with Kenny Thomas, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 on 610 AM, 95.9 FM, and also the Kenny Thomas Golf Tournament, September 12th. Tell us all about it, man.
So the Kenny Thomas Golf Tournament is benefiting Special Olympics in Mexico. It's the 4th annual. This will be the 2nd year that it's benefiting Special Olympics in Mexico. You can go to KennyThomasGolf.com. Everything is there. The sponsorship letter explains everything. You can register everything. One-stop shop. You can donate. Even if you don't want to participate in the golf tournament, you can make a donation to where there's a donation button there as well. There's you'll see as well that there's a poker tournament that's going to be associated with the golf tournament. So stay tuned for that for more details. It's probably going to be Saturday night. So if you want to actually be a part of the golf tournament, you can go to KennyThomasGolf.com. And like Ed said, you can catch me on Channel 4 for Kenny's Got the Score at 10:20 p.m. and 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, you guys. And if you miss it, you can go to KOB4 and you can see Kenny's Got the Score, and every episode for the last 4 or 5 months is there Monday through Friday. Or if I've missed, because I've been traveling, or KOB4 just said, we don't need you today. So, yeah.
Got quite a number of things going on, man. And like I said, I'm proud to be a part of it twice a week with you on Unfiltered. We've had quite a good time every time we're on, man. We enjoy it, and and we run the world of sports, and we've I think established a great chemistry when we're on together. So, Kenny, any final parting words for Lobo fans? You know how Lobo fans are about their basketball here, man. You know that they're going to be watching Team Enchantment. Any final words for Lobo fans tuning in tonight?
No, I mean, I do. Obviously, it's not no. Thank you guys for supporting the Pit Press. It's an honor to be able to have Ed on Unfiltered with me a couple times a week. Eric always chimes in with his messages when he's texting, which is amazing. Thank you for your insight, Eric. I got to give a shout out to Zach Brandt, Capital Ford, for supporting Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas and also supporting the Pit Press. As always, he's a great supporter when it comes to the community, and the vision that Capital Ford and the Brandt family has been amazing. They're also supporting my golf tournament. There'll be some cars out there and some prizes coming from Capital Ford. It's also a celebrity golf tournament, you guys, as well. Outside of that, you guys have a blessed one, and check me out Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas, and Kenny's got the score on KOB4. And thank you guys once again for having me, the both of you. I appreciate it.
KT, I'll be watching closely tomorrow night, man. I'll text you after the game's over, let you know what I think. So we wish you the best of luck.
Knowing you probably text me during the game so I can see it at halftime.
I probably will.
I'm cool with that. If you see something, totally let me know.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny, man, thanks a lot, brother. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys. All right.
You bet, man.
Yeah.
That was Lobo legend Kenny Thomas. Eric, I'm so glad we got him on because I think a lot of Lobo fans didn't know that Luke Hopper wasn't going to be there, that Brandon Mason Jr. couldn't play. We got some other roster additions. And, I think he didn't pull any punches, Eric. It comes down to making shots and doing this or that. And I think he feels confident in who they have. But Eric, you're going against the defending champions at their home arena. It's not easy, man. But I guess you're going to have to play them somewhere along the line anyway. So you might as well do it tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a different game, the Enchantment, man. These are grown men. They're maybe a little bit past their prime, but these dudes are still hoopers playing a lot of basketball overseas. Some guys aren't playing anymore, but play a lot of pickup probably. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate to see that Luke Hop didn't make the trip. I was excited to watch Donovan Dent play too. Obviously, he's not going to be there. And then not a shocker with Brandon Mason Jr. not being able to play, or at least just siding with the non-risk side of things. I wouldn't jeopardize anything with his college career either, based off of what we've seen on social media and some of the highlights of him, man. That dude's a real fucking baller, man. So he has a lot to lose with that. So I kind of agree that he's not going to play with that. But yeah, all you, Ed, for getting Kenny Thomas on. I know you guys have a good relationship. I tune in when I can. I call in when I can. I'll text in when I can. But you do a lot for that show, and I think Kenny realizes it.
You know what? Let me just say this about him. He's become a very good friend, and someone that I'm glad, I'm included in his circle, and we have a very good chemistry on the show. And like I said, he always lets me say my piece. He wants to know what I think. And you know what, Eric? It's sports, man. I'm lucky to have that opportunity and the platforms and this one here. Like I told people, man, again, back to Kenny, thanks for coming on. And he was late and still came on. So shout out to him and good luck to Team Enchantment. But my final thoughts here, I said this when we were in Las Vegas. Hey, all due respect to Jeff Symbieta. He's there, not really representing 610, kind of on vacation, did interview the commissioner, which we did too. Channel 13 was there, Channel 4, some footage. I'm telling you this, and I don't mean this in any other way than the truth. Nobody covered it like the Pit Press in Vegas with 30 interviews in 2 days. And go back, and you're going to download as many as you can. You're very busy, but go back and check our coverage out. Like I said, the Pit Press covers Lobo athletics, high school athletics. I think the Pit Press covers athletics in town as well, or better than anybody. And that's not a bragging thing. That's just what I think. So I appreciate you letting me be part of it, and my son, which doing it, being able to do it with my son, who's very professional, prepared, and well respected in town as you are. I think we've got a great thing going here, Eric. I really do.
Thanks for that, Ed. Yeah, totally agree with you, man. I had a good time out there. You were as much a part of it from the beginning as I was. But yeah, we got several episodes, interviews already live up on our YouTube channel. So if you are interested and want to go back and check those out, we got one-on-one interviews with Coach Jason Eck. We got Jack Lane. We got Jackson Eck, who was selected Mountain West preseason Defensive Player of the Year. Malik Alian and Brian Booker, who are, I think they've been team captains for a while now, but the optimism is very real in Lobo land. Coach Eck is not shying away. I would say the whole team is not shying away from bringing on the high level expectations for this year. They want to win a Mountain West championship, and they're making that very well known. So I'm excited to dive into football more. Again, Ed and I completed over 35 individual interviews with players and coaches from around the league. We'll slowly get those rolled out over the summer as we kind of prep for the season and maybe get some kind of more in-depth previews of some of the programs around the Mountain West, including UNM. Thanks again for Frank McCargliano out in Vegas for helping get us the interviews with the UNM personnel. And he did commit to getting us more Lobo players and coaches in the next coming weeks. So I'll sign out with that. Ed, it was fun to get Kenny on tonight. Glad we're getting kind of back into the swing of things after we got settled in from Vegas. But for everyone that's been tuning into the Pit Press, we appreciate you guys watching us, tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. We got more content coming out your way. So we'll follow the TBT closely and start prepping for football. So for Eric Moulton and Ed Nunez, everyone have a good night. Thanks for watching the Pit Press Live.